Welcome to the Nordic Islands Adventure Race Ragnarök 2019 here in Stockholm. So earlier today, the team has gone through the lockdown. So while the navigators are sitting with the maps, what do the other team members do?
So first of all, you have different roles in a team. So you are 4 people and you have too much to think about. So
I can imagine.
Not everyone can do everything. So usually you have one navigator,
Right.
the first navigator or the head navigator, and then you have a backup navigator. And some teams divide that so you have one navigator on land, so for biking and running, and then you have another one, the backup navigator, usually for kayaking or on water.
All right.
Because you must have someone else back up if the first person gets tired.
That's true.
So if you're too sleepy, you're not going to be a good navigator. And believe me, that's going to happen. And you can actually, you've seen world-class teams flip the map upside down and go like 1 hour the wrong direction. And that's happening for the best team. So imagine how it will be for newbies in this sport. So you have the navigators, obviously very important.
Navigators?
Backup navigator, and then you must have a mule.
A mule?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Meaning someone that can carry a lot of stuff, a strong person.
Okay.
So
a Hulk.
Something like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And endurance Hulk would be great because you have quite a lot of equipment to carry. And when you start the race, you kind of divide it equally between the team members.
Yeah.
But as soon as someone is getting a bit tired, then it's quicker for the entire team to redistribute the weight.
All right.
And then you put it on the mule. Okay. The strong person.
Well, somebody has to be that as well, I guess.
I guess so. And then you need, usually the 4th person will be someone that takes care of the logistics.
Okay.
So reminding everyone what should be changed in the transition area, when it's time to eat, when it's time to fill up water bottles or things like that. Having the rest of the team
thinking ahead.
Thinking ahead, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And also, you might need someone that is the bike mechanic, and you might have someone else that's in charge of kayaking sections, and you might have a 3rd person being in charge of the swim run and making sure that everyone's going the right direction there.
Could be good.
Could be good. That being said, so you have too many positions compared to teammates, meaning that every person will have at least a couple of different roles in the team.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, and the more you have thought about it beforehand, the easier it will be during the race.
Of course, because then you don't have to take the decisions out there when you're tired and exhausted. You have taken the decisions before.
And then you can think about how to move faster, and that's the only thing, and then you know exactly what to do, meaning the other way around would be terrible.
Yeah. Okay, well, I understand the concept of the team, and it makes sense. So I think we should give you a visual introduction to the adventure race. So let's take a look at how it looked last year at this race.
There was an idea to bring together a group of ordinary people to see if they could become something more, grow together and help each other to reach for them untouchable ground. A group that got stronger with women and men side by side. Their destination was unknown. They only knew the future of a hidden path.
Adaptable. Certainly you don't have to be the fastest or the strongest or even the most organized, but at some point in time things are not going to go the way you want them to. The weather is going to be crummy, you're going to break a bike, you're going to break a paddle, and it's how you can adapt to those situations, and if you're going to let it really take away from the experience, or if you're going to use that as an opportunity to work together as a team.
Adventure race is so long that you have so much time to enjoy your nature and like to see or experience like different and unique things, and I think that's the reason why we are doing this.
It's like always something to think about, eat, talk to each other, tactics, pushing, keep the energy up, keep the tempo, the speed, everything. So it's a lot of things to think about all the time.
Adventure racing takes you off the beaten path where probably no human being has stepped before. You just go by map and compass, and this is like real exploration.
It looks like it's really important to have a good teamwork within the team to actually be able to enjoy this kind of race as well and not only be suffering. So I think we should talk a little bit more about the teams. We have 16 teams, but I think you know more about the teams than I do. So what kind of teams do we have?
Well, I know a little bit more about especially the good ones. So you have the entire spectra from world-class athletes. So we actually have 2 teams that are ranked usually within the top 10 in the world. So we have Estonian Ace, obviously from Estonia, and we have the Swedish team, Swedish Armed Forces. And they are very experienced teams. And they have hardcore teams, very professional. So they obviously, we talked about the roles before. They have the roles cut out. They know exactly what to do. And when they get the maps, they know everything. They probably packed everything yesterday or the day before that. So they have full understanding
They've done this before.
Everything from what clothes to wear during what stages, what energy to eat at what stages. They know exactly where they have the spare parts for the biking, etc. So those teams, I'd say that those are the favorites by far. Those 2 teams will most likely battle it out for the win in this race. And as in any adventure race, something might happen to either of them. And you might have one of them leading by several hours to the last leg and then do 1 or 2 mistakes, and then it's going to flip. And then the other one
Anything can happen, right?
Anything can happen. But they are again, they have the lowest odds of winning, those 2 teams. They are experienced.
Okay, but then you also have teams who has never done this before, right?
Yes, in this race, you have the professional teams and the World Series. I talked about the ranked top 10.
Exactly.
In those races, you always have teams of 4, mixed gender. So you have men and women racing together.
Okay, equal.
Well, at least one from the other gender.
All right.
So you need at least, usually it's 3 males and 1 female.
Okay.
So 3 men and 1 woman racing. In this race, it's a little bit more flexible. So, for example, we have an all-female team here, consisting of all newbies. And we'll hear a bit more about them because they're very interesting. It's Team Holiday Club Åre. And I can just imagine the stress level within that team now. It's still a few hours to race start. They've probably consumed quite a lot of energy just thinking about things that could go wrong.
Yeah, I heard they are pretty nervous, and I understand them. I would be too if this was my first race. Yeah, so we have these experts, you can say, and then we have this team with only beginners. Do we have anything in between?
Well, you could also say that that's part of the charm with this type of race. It will take probably something around 50 to 100% longer time to do the race for the slower, the newbie teams.
All right.
But it's the same race, and they probably compete just to complete the course.
Exactly. More to challenge themselves than to end up on a podium.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's a completely different mental situation for those teams. And then you have teams in the middle. And some of those teams are interesting here because they are a mix of super experienced racers, world-class racers. Puppy Adventure team, for example, they have 2 females that are really, really good. But then they also have a navigator that is, I wouldn't call him a rookie, but without experience from these type of long races with sleep deprivation.
I am.
And
That's a tricky part.
that will be
No
a tricky
sleep.
part for the navigation. Navigation, the third on Sunday, for example, will be a problem.
To keep your mind straight while being super tired.
Yeah, and in the same category, you have the second Estonian team, where they are super experienced athletes, but maybe not in navigation or adventure racing, but in more traditional endurance sports.
Interesting.
So I'd say that the other Estonian team, I'm not going to even try to pronounce their team name.
Me neither.
And Puppy Adventure Team are the mixed type of teams.
Okay.
Where you don't really know beforehand. They might have done all the homework, and they have prepared, and they have done all the setting up and decisions beforehand. In those cases, the newbies might be helped so much by the experienced people in the team, so they might be a dark horse to even be on the podium for this race.
It's true. So we will see what will happen. Anything can happen. And the team that Mikael was talking a little bit about, the Puppy, what was it called? Puppy Adventure Team?
Puppy Adventure Team is the name here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And one of the participants in that team is Marika.
Exactly.
Right. And to get us a little bit closer to the participants of this race, to really get to know them and actually hear their thoughts about this kind of racing, we have met them before the race has started. So this is Marika telling her experience about this kind of racing and her thoughts about this race.
My name is Marika, and I'm an athlete, and I try to do this as a full-time profession. But I also do a lot of other stuff. But racing is what's my big passion, and I race all over the world in adventure racing. I've been racing different sports for a long time, and the last 5 or so years I've been into adventure racing, and I've done a bit over 10 races now, with Nordic being 2 of them. And what I really like about racing is that it takes you to places that you didn't even know existed. When you are about to do a race, it brings up so many memories from old races you've done, and in every race there's these hilarious moments where you just sit with your team, things have should have hit the fan big style, and you're just laughing your ass off because that's the only thing you can do. And those moments always stay, and together with the most gnarly ones, the ones where you're climbing down this canyon and everything around is just torn bushes, and you're trying to squeeze through, and you have been lost forever. And I don't know what is in us that makes us enjoy it, because somehow we do. It's those shitty moments that actually stay the most. You're never as happy as when you're adventure racing, and you're never as sad. You have your highs and your lows. It takes you to the best of the places around. And every race I work, they want to show the beauty of their area, and they really do, and it takes your breath away every time. No matter how tired you are, how hot it is, how gnarly it is with rain, mud, or storm, or anything. They take you to the most beautiful places, and you will appreciate it at some time, even if you're suffering.
That was Marika, and this year she is competing with a new team through the beautiful nature of Scandinavia. And you can go into our website, it's niargames.com, and actually follow, for example, Marika's team. And how do you do that? Well, all the teams has a tracking device on them. So on our website, you can actually see exactly where the teams are on a map. So it's a dotting system, and it's actually really interesting to see what they are going through. And you can also follow us on the social media channels. We update all the time on both Instagram and Facebook. And we We'll be back here later on to update you even more about what is going on. And then it will be from the starting area at Östhammar, and it will be nerve-wracking. So see you then.